If you are unaware, the developers for Blade Sorcery, Warpfrog, have recently announced that the game is going to continue to get updates till the end of 2026. The first of these updates just released, and among other things, it added a feature that I've been dying for: achievements. I have finally been given a way to showcase my unhealthy obsession with this game. There are 37 achievements, and I'm going to be getting every single one, with a few twists in between. To begin, I obviously made my character. I started off with the gravity crystal since that's objectively the best one. If you say otherwise, you're wrong, and I put it on permadeath, because there is an achievement for completing the game on permadeath. So I could easily lose this entire playthrough in seconds. That would be extremely embarrassing though, given the amount of hours I have in this game. Before I began, I uninstalled all of my mods except like 4. I only kept a few visual ones that I really liked. You can see which ones up on screen right now. Achievements work with mods, I just don't feel like risking it too much. And for starting a crystal hunt game, I got my very first achievement, a hunt for power. I made my way through the rest of the tutorial normally. I learned gravity and made my way to the Baron's shop. As soon as I got there, I stabbed him in the eyes to get my second achievement, permaband. For my third achievement, Blade of Kartib, I swam a little to the left and grabbed the falcon. And for my fourth achievement, Scholar of Baeth, I started grabbing the notes around the island. Because I'm a weirdo, I already knew where all of them were. For my fifth achievement, Jonathan, I found Jonathan. And for my sixth achievement, Hello Mates, I found the Baron's hat. I started and ran through my very first dungeon with, not much difficulty. I got the achievement, I did this for an achievement. I did this, I didn't just kill this guy quickly, because I needed the achievement. I did this for an achievement. When I got home, I tried to get the achievement Don't Disturb the Birds by finding the bird nest in the home. But when I got to the bird nest, I didn't get any achievement. Apparently there's 2 in the home. Thank you, Dingus Rat, on Discord for telling me this. I don't really want to use any help or guides for the achievements. I just asked here because I figured it was broken. They should probably change the name of this achievement to find 1 of the bird nests in the home, because, there's 2. But after I climbed up that tree, I got my 7th achievement, Don't Disturb the Birds. And quick intermission, I'm giving away $150 in the form of a Blade Sorcery clip competition on my Discord. If you own the game and you want to participate, join my Discord, link at the top of the description. More info there. Please participate. There isn't many participants. It'd be really nice. Thank you. I then got my 8th achievement, Dalgarian Spirit, by just running through a dungeon without killing anybody. Pretty simple, pretty easy. That dungeon gave me 1 map, and then I continued through another dungeon to get my second one so I could get to my first Dalgarian ruin. Also, I was listening to music through most of this, but apparently my OBS didn't pick up my Spotify, so 90% of my footage sounds like this.
The flames are steer with heat and black, a valley of bones where people go and don't come, and I beg to you, justice will for and or in, is it still?
Also, another little wrinkle I want to add to this playthrough along with the permadeath is I want to try to use only, or mostly, the new Reich weapons and armor. I'm not going to be sticking to this, super vehemently. I did use the Falcon a couple times, I'm sorry, but there is a bunch of cool new weapons I do want to use. I still will be using mostly sorcery, but some of these will get some play. I'm a little more strict with the armor. I will only be using the Reich stuff, so from now until I reach tier 3 equipment, I'll be stuck in the tattered t-shirt and pants that I'm currently in. I used the spoils from the last 2 dungeons to buy this really cool stick mace hammer thing and some shurikens. After prepping at the Baron's shop, I made my way into my first Dalgarian ruin of this run. I tried to use the shurikens, but I completely missed. And then after I completely missed, it got stuck in this guy. I'm no weapons expert, but I don't think they do that in real life. I missed. You use them like this. I also got my first and only good hit with a shuriken throughout this entire run right here. Oh, that one was nice. Oh, my health is low. I can't take another. I might not make it out of this dungeon. This thing sucks. I pushed my way through the dungeon with the horrible shurikens, forgetting that I had a giant mace on my back. And once I got to the end, I did the same thing that I've done a million times before. I beat Hector. And for that, I got my 8th achievement, The Fall of Helculus. After that, for my next crystal, I chose Gravity, as the next achievement I was going for was Sorcerer Blood, which requires me to obtain a tier 3 crystal core. Next, I got the achievement Becoming an Acolyte for merging 2 crystal cores together, and after that, I spent the measly amount of crystal points I had on upgrading the Gravity Crystal. I then noticed that wave levels started appearing, so I tried to get some of those achievements done. The first level I went to was the market. I looked for the bread sword, but it wasn't there this time around. But I was able to get the achievement The Ring for going down the well there. I tried to start and complete the waves, but absolutely nothing happened when I started it, and after 2 minutes of wandering around and not seeing a single enemy, I just reloaded the level. This time when I loaded in, the bread sword was there, and it looked like it was working, until I beat this one woman to death and nobody else spawned. These levels breaking has been a consistent issue since Crystal Hunt came out. I have no idea why this is still happening. Oh, also, I got the achievement Cult of Cosby for finding the bread sword. I then loaded into the Citadel because there's a whopping 3 achievements you can get here. The first achievement I got here was the Smuggler's Path for finding the secret tunnels below the Citadel. The second achievement I got here was Sky Cell for finding the cell that connects to the tunnels. And if there was an achievement for getting lost in those tunnels, I would 100% have it. They were super dark and I could not see a single thing, so I had to try and find my way with the very little light that the gravity spell gives off. Once I bounced off enough walls to find my way out, I started climbing. I climbed to the highest point in the Citadel and got the achievement Leap of Faith. Also, once again, the waves broke. I looked for a solid 2 minutes again, but I could only find a single enemy, and after that, no more. Then, Sanctuary was available, so I got the achievement Dark Messiah for dislodging the chandelier. This time, the waves actually worked, and I finally tested out that giant-ass mace I got.
Trying to begin in the smoke. I want to take back every word that I ever wrote. I want to watch the ocean waves sink a tanker to the bottom in the middle of the night when nobody's watching. I want death. I want collapse.
I then loaded up a few new outposts. I then visited the Baron's shop to buy 2 things, the rusty cleaver and the small wooden shield. These will be important later, and I bought them now because I'm not sure if I'll be able to find them when I do need them. After that, I loaded up my second Dalgarian dungeon.
Get ready for this.
I also have no clue as to why I grabbed that guy and he just didn't care, I guess. I also found the random ass hole of nothingness for the first time. This is the first time I've seen this.
Is there just random holes?
It's either new or I've never really checked this area before, but there's just a hole that has nothing in it and leads to nothing. After I accidentally stayed in one section for too long, a wave got called, and for some reason I just stayed and fought them all. This was a horrible idea and could have gone horribly considering I was just wearing the same clothes I start with and on permadeath. I genuinely don't know what I was doing here or why I didn't just run. I made it to Hector, and since this is only my 200th hour in this game since 1.0 released, I beat him pretty easily. I knocked the crystal out of his mouth and chose to turn that into a 3rd gravity crystal. When I got home, I combined the tier 2 gravity crystal I had there with the tier 1 I got at the Dalgarian Ruin and gained the achievement Sorcerer Blood. I then made my way to the Baron's shop as tier 2 weapons were now being sold. I bought this cool 2-sided staff thing and a health potion. By this point, all the easier achievements were done, so now it's just more of the, grindy parts. Also, please ignore the cursor, I messed up a little bit, it'll be gone soon.
Other evening I decided I was gonna have one for myself. Put on my boots and I headed down the road. I had to do it for my health. But I get home this morning just to find her quite upset. Go down, God, go call your mom. This house is gonna get gas. Goodbye, sheetrock. Farewell, lamb. It was a pleasure just to have you. You'll be invited back later.
I then started my 4th Dalgarian dungeon. I did the basics, you know, kill people, grab stuff, and kill Hector. This time for my crystal, I chose the mind one. When I got home, I got the gravity skill that makes stabs actually useful. I finally got another achievement, this achievement being Hidden Passage for going down this specific well in this specific room. I then started my 5th Dalgarian dungeon, once again featuring my cursor. This game, since the beginning of this playthrough, has been just like instantly loading every 3 or so levels. And when it does that, I would have to restart the game, and when I restart the game, for some reason, my OBS forgets not to capture my cursor even though I have that setting off. I don't know, it's stupid. Maybe turn yourself back on, I don't know.
Back every word that I ever spoke. I wanna watch the ocean waves
That was right in
sink
his
a
face. Come
blinker to the bottom.
Okay, that works.
In the middle of the night when nobody's watching, I want death. I want calamity. I want the
This time I picked up the fire crystal. When I got home, I got the achievement A Worthy Arbiter for getting every skill in the gravity tree. After that, I went to the Baron's shop and finally found what I've been waiting for. I had been saving myself for this armor specifically, so finding it was so relieving. The only piece he had at that time was a cuirass, so that's the only one, I could buy. After I bought that, I went on to do more dungeons. Doing that 4th Dalgarian dungeon finally let me go against the hardest faction in the game, but, hard is an interesting word in Blade Sorcery. When I got home, I took off my armor and put back on my shirt because I wanted to try and get the Desperate Times achievement. But after going through an entire dungeon, for some reason it didn't work, so I just tabled this one for later. After that, I returned to the Baron's and he finally had more armor pieces. He had the right glove, the helmet, and the pants. He didn't have all of them, but it was better than the none he had the last 3 times I looked. I went home and I put it on, and I cannot express how cool this looks. Before this, I didn't actually test it out in Sandbox, so I had only seen the pictures that Warpfrog posted. Also, I just really quick want to show you what I mean with the infinite loading and the cursor. As you can see, I load, it loads infinitely, and I go through Steam VR, open Blade Sorcery so I'm not moving my cursor, and it just appears there. I move it to turn on the good camera so the recording doesn't look like shit, but originally it doesn't move from the position it was in originally. I have no clue why this happens. Warpfrog, please fix your game. This happens without mods, by the way, I tested it. And OBS, please fix your software. Excuse my rant and excuse the cursor for a little bit longer, I apologize. This armor looks really cool and it prevents me from taking a lot of damage, but it is unfortunately armor and not robes, so it does kind of hamper my sorcering abilities. After that, I went home, but from there, I went to the Baron's shop to see if he had any more armor for me, but he didn't. So when I got there, I went in his changing room, took my clothes off, and bought the smallest knife I could. I was then again going to try and get the Desperate Times achievement, so I went in there with nothing but my shoes and the small rusty knife. Blade Sorcery isn't a very hard game, so I didn't have too much issue with this. I looked over the footage from the last time I did this, and at one point I did pull out my sorcery to make a jump. So I'm thinking that is maybe what disqualified it. And I didn't get the achievement this time either. For one, it could be because I picked up this chalice right here, which if you don't know, loot does have tiers. So it might have like considered the chalice a weapon, I have no idea. And at one point when I was fighting, I did this. I dropped my knife, and while looking for it, I accidentally picked up a tier 3 sword. I'm not sure if it considers telekinesis grabbing, but if it does, I'm going to imagine that's how I failed the achievement. Also, just now, as I'm looking over the footage, I think the game may not have given me the achievement just to spite me, because I just realized I didn't get any map from this chest. Dear Mr. Wartfrog, I apologize for whatever I did, but please give me my maps, make my achievements work, and get this goddamn cursor off my screen. When I got home, I went to the Baron's shop. I looked for more armor pieces, but of course there was nothing, and I just put my armor back on and loaded up a new dungeon. And since I had a lot of pent-up anger, I just decided to burn this woman in this goblet thing. I don't know why I did this. It was a bunch of time wasted that I probably could have spent, like, making this video. I don't know why I did this so slowly and why I just, like, watched the life drain from his... I don't know what was going on when I was recording this. I'm sorry. For my next crystal, I chose light. Oh, I'm sorry, I chose body. I'm tired, I'm sorry. After completing my 5th Algarian dungeon, the eye showed up, which was super surprising as I have never ever played this game before. So I didn't know it was gonna happen. After that, I learned the body skill and picked the most expensive looking weapons of theirs that I could find. Because if you didn't know, anything that spawns in your home is considered owned. So if you get them before they despawn, you can do whatever you please with them. Use them, or in my case, sell them to the Baron. After buying pretty much nothing for the entire game and selling those weapons I just got, I had plenty of money to buy the boots that finally showed up in the shop. This left me one left glove away from completing the full set. I also picked up this cool like big spear sword thing. I don't know what it is, but it's called the Cleaver, and I can in fact vouch for the fact that it does cleave.
I am a runner. I take my pills. I run ahead of other people, speeding all the trucks and cars. I am a runner. I run.
After those dungeons, I took myself to the Baron's shop, and finally I found another glove. But when I went to put it on, I apparently bought the exact same glove I already have. For some reason, this game just refuses to give me a left glove. I don't know. But anyways, after that, I loaded up my next outpost. You regret your decision? I would hope so. I now had enough maps to go into my final Delgarian dungeon, but I didn't want to quite yet, so I just continued doing normal dungeons. After that dungeon, I took another visit to the Barons, and found another right glove. But thank the heavens, I found a left glove too. This has taken so long, I don't know why this one glove has eluded me for so goddamn long. After I put that right glove on, I got the achievement Prepared for the Zorik Vamo Relin, I think. I got that achievement for having a full set of tier 3 armor. I then continued on to my final Delgarian dungeon.
Come here.
This time for my crystal, I chose lightning, as that was the only one that I was missing. And when I got home, the door opened, the end was right there. But I have stuff to do first, so I'm not going to go in there yet. So the first thing I did was I went over to the Barons to see what weapons he had available. And when I got there, a beautiful sight met my eyes.
Damn.
The katana. So I put the katana, the tier 4 dagger, the tier 4 hand dagger thing, and the tier 4 axe on the mat and bought them. And for that, I got the achievement Pride of Skyrim for getting my first tier 4 weapon. I then got home and decided to make a little display, because the next achievement I'm going for requires me to have every tier 4 weapon. And I just want it to look, kind of look cool, I guess. I then once again stripped naked and put my starting clothes back on, because I am desperate for the Desperate achievement. For this achievement, I decided I would use the Rusty Cleaver and the Small Wind Shield, because that's what's on the logo of the achievement. I reviewed my past 2 times doing this achievement, and I decided that all my problems stemmed from letting go of my weapons. So this time, I would just not let go of either of them, no matter what. And finally, after all that, I got the achievement Desperate Times for completing an eye dungeon with nothing but tier 0 weapons and armor.
I did it. Achievement.
When I got home, I completed the super important achievement of making a little display of the gear I used for that achievement because I felt like it. I then took out this beautiful weapon and finally started my first dungeon with a tier 4 weapon.
Went through his shield and through him. Yes.
About here, I stopped recording. 1, because I didn't really feel like it was necessary, because at this point I was just doing dungeon after dungeon to get more money, and 2, because I was running low on disk space. But literally this dungeon, at the very end of it, I got 2 achievements. I got the achievement Is This Treasure for finding a poo, and the achievement The Ultimate Simulation Game for trying to eat it. I didn't record it, but here is a recreation that I hired a professional to make. If you're like me and think that was well worth the $3,000 I put into it, please subscribe so I can help make that back. Anyways, once I got back, I instantly went to the Baron shop to see what I could buy. And I bought a bunch of tier 4 weapons. And by a bunch, I mean a single Warhammer, because that's all I could afford. Next, I did something that you probably didn't expect, and I went to do more outposts. And I continued doing Dalgarian dungeons, because there are 2 stupid achievements that require the dungeons to generate the right rooms and for me to do the right things in them. I still am yet to get those rooms. After a while, I finally had enough money for more stuff, so I got 4 different tier 4 weapons: the sword, the staff, the small axe, and the longsword. I put them all on my display because, what else was I going to do? And I continued on. When I returned to the Barons, I got 2 things. I got the shoulder pauldrons for the Reich set so I can look even cooler, and the tier 4 2-handed mace. I was now 1 weapon away from having the achievement.
I wanna burn all of my clothes and drown 'em back every word that I ever wrote. I wanna watch the ocean waves sink your tanker to the bottom. In the middle of the night, when nobody's watching, I want death. I want calamity. I want all them to see what I'm seeing. I wanna lay beneath the grass, so I never leave alone. I wanna exhale oxygen like a tree out in the park. I wanna watch death like a tidal wave wash away reality.
The goddamn spear, please. Don't you? Is this what you wanted?
And then, in my, you know, my great genius, after I did all those dungeons and all those resets looking for that spear, the next time I went to the Baron's shop, I noticed that this sword oddly didn't look like the one I had, and there was two of them in the shop. Like what?
Oh, I got the achievement. This was what I was missing, not the spear. Oh my god.
I had the spear, and that was the weapon I didn't have. Apparently, when I bought the spear, I didn't put it on my display, and I was using my display to judge what I had and what I didn't. So when I looked at my display, I saw a sword, one that was, you know, just like a little bit shorter than this one, because for some reason there's like there's like a long, a small-ish, and like a medium-ish sword. There's three swords for whatever reason. So I looked at my display, I saw a sword, but I didn't see a spear, so I figured, oh, it must be the spear. I'm stupid. But anyways, as you can see, what I just did was I created a new save in Sandbox to get these Sandbox achievements done. So the first thing I did was I went into the ocean and found the Warp Frog cup bending cup. I learned cup bending, and then I started my first survival waves. I got to wave 3 and then it just broke. I have no clue as to why it broke, but whatever, it was only wave 3. I then went again and got up to wave 10.
I did it, I got... Oh my god.
You know, and then I continued. And I got up to wave 12, and it just broke again.
I'm not doing all of that again, dude.
I stopped recording, I uninstalled all of my mods, and I tried again. I figured, you know, maybe it was the few mods I had, even though, you know, they don't really do much, and haven't caused problems yet. Or it might have been glitching because of the strain that recording puts on my PC. But no, I did it again and got to wave 30, and it broke. I was pissed off at this point, because this shit takes so long, and is so tiring. But I wanted to do this, so I tried again, and got to wave 31 before it broke. Warp Frog, if you're going to add an achievement that takes a stupid amount of time, at least make sure it fucking works. I'm not the only one that's had a problem with this, so it's not like I'm doing something wrong, but I just cheated it in. I did more than 50 waves. This stupid ass achievement just can't stop breaking. I'm sorry, but I more than earned it, and shouldn't be punished for this shitty ass QA. Warp Frog, for the sake of everybody's sanity, remove this achievement or make it work properly. Anyways, after that I went back into Crystal Hunt, but because I was still pissed off, I forgot to record. I did a few Dalgarian dungeons just to, you know, finally wrap things up, and I got the Watery Grave and Monumental Waterfall achievements. When I first started, I figured that these would be the two most annoying achievements, because, you know, it's like purely chance-based. There's no like certain way you can go to find it. I don't really think there should be chance-based achievements, but after what I just went through with the Wild Folk Stamina achievement, going through those few Dalgarian dungeons wasn't as nearly as frustrating as that. I then started recording, made my way to the teleportation room that has been open for like forever now, and finally made my way to the tower. But the first thing I did was I turned around and went down towards the boat to get Carl. I made the world's slowest descent down there so I didn't accidentally kill myself. I grabbed Carl, I got the achievement, and then I played the world's worst game of only up getting back up to the tower. Throughout this entire journey, this is probably the second most frustrating thing I've ever done, because everything here is so low quality, there's pretty much nothing to grab onto. And because I was wearing armor, my gravity wasn't really all that useful. I can understand if you're just gonna have this as some random Easter egg, why you wouldn't, you know, develop it much. But if you're going to add this as an achievement, you know, like to like 100% the game, you should treat this place as you know, part of the game and add a clear way up and down. I'm sorry, but I should not have to grasp at the tiniest little low poly angle to get back to, you know, like the entire point of the game. Anyways, I went in, grabbed the sword, got sucked up, and finally got 2 more achievements. I got the achievement 10,000 Years of Peace for sacrificing myself to the planet, you know, doing the main ending, and I got the achievement Return of the Comenet for completing the game on permadeath. Once the credits started playing, I reloaded the home and went back into the tower. This time I went up and shut off the giant shooty crystal things so I could take the sword and get out of there. When I got home, I got the achievement Your Destiny Awaits for dooming the world to a calamity. I now had only 2 more achievements I needed to get, and I was saving this one specifically for last. I loaded up an outpost and I figured that I would need to do a few for this achievement. But no, it seems that this game saved all my luck in this playthrough for this one specific moment. I found the room I needed, so I put down my weapons and jumped in the chasm. This put my permadeath character to rest, but earned me 2 achievements. Trailer Hero for falling down the chasm, and the achievement Knights of 10,000 Years for getting every single trophy within Blade and Sorcery.
I did it! I did it! Oh! Did it. It's over. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh! It's done!
I want to thank you for watching and ask you to please support me. Whether that's subscribing, joining my channel memberships, or joining my Discord, doesn't matter. It all helps. This is the most challenging video and most time-consuming video I've ever done by far. So any support does mean the world to me. And again, I want to thank you, yes you right there, for watching.
I want dead.